In this video, we are going to talk about the chain rule. So let's talk about the chain rule for differentiation. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider a function. So if y is equal to f of u is a differentiable function of u and u is equal to gx is the differentiable function of x, then d by dx of y is equal to d by du of y times d by dx of u, right? So let's try to understand this term right here. So as you can see, y is a function of u and u is a function of x. So basically, y is a function of x, but it's a composite function, right? So if I want to find the derivative of y, what I need to do, I need to differentiate y with respect to u times I need to differentiate u with respect to x. Now let's simplify further. If I simplify further, I will write this one as dy over dx is equal to dy over du times du over dx, right? This rule is basically known as, we call it chain rule. Let's try to understand what is happening over here. So if you look at the first term, that is dy over dx. So basically what we're doing, we are finding the derivative of y with respect to x, right? This is what happening on this side, like on one side of the function where I have dy over dx, and on the other side you can see I am differentiating y with respect to u. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find the derivative of y with respect to u times du over dx, which is basically what? Derivative of u with respect to x. So as you can see, if I want to find the derivative of a composite function, which is basically y is equal to f of u, what we need to do, we need to differentiate y with respect to x, and that is equal to the product of two differentiations. And my first derivative is differentiation of y with respect to u times differentiation of u with respect to x. And then what we are doing, we are multiplying those two terms together. Or I should say, we are multiplying those two derivatives together, right? Now this rule is basically known as chain. This rule is basically known as chain rule, right? Now let's look at the function. So if you look at the function, my function is basically, my function is y is equal to f of u, right? This is my function. And then if you look closely, you will see u is also a function of gx, right? So basically what we are doing, we are differentiating y is equal to fu, and if I combine these two functions and if I write the function y in terms of x, my function will be y is equal to f of u, and as you can see u is my gx, so I will write f of gx, right? So basically my function y is equal to f of g of x, right? Now let's try to differentiate this function. So if I want to differentiate this function, what will I do? I will write differentiating both sides with respect to x, and I'm writing w for with, r for respect to x, right? So I'm not writing with respect to x altogether, I'm just writing wr2 for x, and if we do that, we will write dy dx of y, which is my one side, that is equal to dy dx of, my other side has a function, and I'm going to write that function as f of g of x, right? So as you can see, my function on one side is f of g of x, and if I want to differentiate this function, I will separate f and gx and then I will differentiate. So if I finish the differentiation, I will write this one as dy over dx, because I am differentiating y with respect to x, that is equal to, I will write dy dx of, my first part of the function is basically what? F of g of x, because f is a function of g and g is basically u. So I am differentiating dy dx of f of gx times dy dx of g of x. So basically I'm differentiating my function f, right, as like a function of u, and then I'm differentiating my gx as a function of x, and that's what this rule talks about. So if I simplify further, what will I do? I will simplify this one as dy over dx is equal to dy dx of f of gx is basically f dash of g of x, right, times dy dx of gx is g dash x, right? And this is basically the differentiation of this composite function. And this rule is known as chain. Let me write it down. We call it a chain rule. And the reason why we call it chain rule, because as you can see, I am differentiating the function f with respect to u, which is basically the first part of the function, because f is a function of u, and then I am differentiating g, which is the function of x. So this rule is basically known as chain rule. And this is how we will explain the chain rule for the differentiation.